Victoria was finally out of the works and was ready to be on the rails after a very long time. Edward helped take her to the junction where they would be meeting Thomas and Sir Topham Hatt. On the way, she was feeling the wind blowing to her face and felt like she was freshly built again.
Man, it feels so nice to be back. I can't wait to carry passengers again today.
Edward was very happy to hear that as they made it to the junction. Thomas was amazed to see how much she changed, with her new coat of paint and looking more modern with the new parts she got. Sir Topham had walked up to her and told her what was about to happen now.
You seem to be very happy, Victoria, and I'm glad how they mended you. You're really good looking and look like you're ready to work on the rails again.
Oh, sir, I really am, sir. Thank you very much for having the work safely useful again.
You're very welcome. You should thank Thomas too, because he's the one who told me about you.
So Victoria did, and Thomas gave her a very happy whistle because of how happy he was for her.
Now on to business. You will be riding with Thomas and his coaches up to the valley where you will meet Toby and Henrietta.
Victoria was very excited to hear that, so she was coupled up to Clarabelle and the four set off. She, Annie, and Clarabelle immediately got along and were chatting to get to know each other more, while Victoria was loving the ride and was even more excited to carry passengers and the inspector later that day to see how she runs. Meanwhile, Terence was carrying a wagon full of stone and he was on a very steep road. It was for a new barn that was being built, and he was in charge of bringing the stone there. He was being very careful on the steep road, but then there was trouble. Out of nowhere, a large stone landed right in front of him and he swerved to the right to avoid it. But the wagon fell off the road and all the stones landed on the tracks while the wagon landed right next to it. Terence was able to stay on the road, but now he was very worried.
Oh dear, this is terrible. Thomas will be coming along this line in a bit. We have to stop him before it's too late.
So his driver called for help, and perfect timing too. As soon as Thomas was about to go around the bend, there was a red flag as a warning to stop. When he spotted the flag, he immediately put on his brakes and came to a complete stop just in time. The stone rocks were right in front of him, and the inspector hopped off to see if the rails were damaged after the workmen moved the stones out of the way.
The rails are safe to move on. Yes, make up for lost time.
After he climbed back into Victoria, Thomas set off once more to make it to the valley. When they got there, Toby, Henrietta, and Sir Topham Hatt were all there to see them and greet the new coach. After the passengers climbed out, Sir Topham Hatt made a speech to celebrate Victoria.
As we know, there aren't many railways that have a train like Toby, Henrietta, and Victoria, the vintage train for this branch line. But we needed a coach like Victoria to help us round in such perfect timing, and I think we should give her a big cheer for her long-awaited comeback, for being a useful coach again.
All the passengers cheered. Toby rang his bell and Thomas blew his whistle. Victoria thought it was the best thing to ever happen to her and the best day of her life as well. Now Toby had an extra coach to take the workmen from the quarry without any trouble at all. The two coaches immediately got along and became best friends. Once in a while, she would be Thomas's third coach if he has way too many passengers to take. She became more of a really useful coach than she expected, and nothing could take away from that for many years to come.